Tariffs are back in the news. Yeah, again. And of course, it's Trump making headlines. He's putting tariffs at the center of his economic plan once more. And whether you're shopping for basics, running a small business, or just keeping an eye on prices, this could hit home. So, what's really going on and why now? In today's video, we'll break it all down and see how this could impact you. You know, the thing about tariffs is they're not some new idea Trump just cooked up. They've actually been around forever. Back in the early days, the US didn't even have income tax. Crazy, right? The government was funded almost entirely by taxing foreign goods. Stuff that came into the country was hit with a tariff at the port, and that money helped run the whole show. At the same time, those tariffs protected American industries that were just getting started, keeping out cheaper imports. But what happens when tariffs go too far? That's where the real trouble begins. Because things got messy in 1930 with the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act. Tariffs were raised by 20%, and other countries didn't just sit there, they hit back with their own tariffs. Global trade slowed down, and this helps in worsening the Great Depression. So, after World War II ended in 1945, the US switched things up. Instead of raising tariffs, it started cutting them. The country basically became the face of free trade. Income tax took over as the main way the government made money. Goods got cheaper and companies grew. But now history might be repeating itself, and we're all along for the ride. So, yeah, you could say America was built on tariffs. They helped get the country off the ground and protect local businesses when they needed it. But over time, the playbook changed. And now, well, Trump wants to flip it back again. Alright, before we dive into the drama of trade wars and tariffs, let's quickly understand something important. How do tariffs actually work? Say you own a small electronics store in the US. You and your local suppliers sell wireless headphones for $100. Business is good. Then suddenly, cheaper and sleeker headphones start arriving from South Korea, selling for just $75. Customers switch and your sales start to drop fast. So the US government steps in and places a $30 tariff on those imported headphones. Now they cost $105. Just like that, your $100 product is back in the game. That extra $30, that's a tariff, a tax on imports designed to protect local businesses, generate revenue, or pressure foreign trade partners. If you haven't been following recent tariff developments, here's the quick version. On March 29th, Trump proposed a universal 10% tariff on all imports, with up to 35% extra on Chinese goods and 15 to 25% on select EU products. China responded with retaliatory tariffs of up to 90%, and Trump fired back again, pushing tariffs on certain Chinese categories up to a whopping 120%. Recently, Trump announced a temporary 90-day freeze on new tariffs, but only for select allies. China, still in the penalty box. Now, on the 16th of April 2025, the Donald Trump administration has announced a new tariff of up to 245% on China again. This isn't Trump's first time dealing with tariffs. Back in 2018 to 2020, he hit imports of steel, aluminium, solar panels, and even washing machines. Critics warned of inflation and retaliation. But weirdly enough, prices didn't skyrocket, and a few US industries actually grew. So, what's the argument this time around? Supporters say tariffs equals revenue. In 2020, US Customs collected over $80 billion. A 10% blanket tariff on 2025's projected $4.5 trillion in imports, that could bring in nearly $450 billion. Higher import costs might force companies to manufacture in the US, boosting jobs. Trump even suggested using tariffs to replace federal income taxes. Critics argue tariffs are just taxes in disguise, and you pay for them. Importers pass the cost down the chain, meaning higher prices at the store. And retaliation is real. During Trump's first term, China hammered US farmers with counter tariffs, especially on soybeans and pork. Gains in one industry might lead to losses in another. Tariffs on imported steel might help US steel plants, but hurt car makers who rely on cheap foreign steel. And let's talk money. The US is now sitting on over $35 trillion in national debt. In 2025 alone, it's on track to pay more than $1 trillion in interest payments. Add a trade war into the mix, markets panic. Businesses delay spending, investors pull out. In this fragile debt heavy system, one wrong move could spark a recession. So, why is Trump still all in on tariffs? Here's why: politics. We're taxing foreign goods, protecting American jobs makes a strong campaign message. Strategy: the idea of reciprocal tariffs. If another country taxes American goods, the US hits back with the same rate. Leverage: his team believes countries like China game the system with subsidies, currency manipulation, and cheap labor. And here's the twist: the US imports far more from China than it exports, resulting in a $310 billion trade deficit. That means China holds a surplus of US dollars, which it often parks in US Treasury bonds. If China ever dumps those bonds in retaliation, it could shake global financial markets and hit the US economy hard. Bottom line: tariffs aren't some silver bullet. They can protect industries, generate revenue, and apply pressure. But they also risk higher consumer costs, global retaliation, and economic instability. And in today's tightly connected world, even small moves can make big waves. If this helped you understand the tariff tug of war, give it a like, smash that subscribe button, and tell us in the comments. Are tariffs smart economics or just risky politics?